absolutely joyful to be here with you today. And I have this favorite saying of mine that is, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% about how you handle it. Or how you respond to it. So I am someone who, I guess I could say maybe I'm passionate. I get passionate about things that mean a lot to me. And when I was a youngster, I was very into sports and I am competitive. I always wanted to win. And I've been reading my journals lately. You're going to hear me say that a lot. And oh my goodness, I would get so upset at not winning. And the reason was this or the reason was that. And just that competitive nature that I had and not handling very well when it didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to go. When I was in college, I remember having a roommate and she wouldn't do her part in the kitchen. So I'm an orderly person and there's rules and hey, let's figure out the way we do it. If you don't do your dishes this day, then you get to do them the next day and the next day until, you do your part. And I was just always, let's set up these rules. This works great. Well, she didn't do her day in the dishes and the next day she didn't and the next day she didn't. I was bound and determined not to help her because she needed to learn her lesson and do her dishes. And I want you to know that I think back to that time, I have to say more than 100 times. Hundreds of times in my life. Wish I hadn't made such a big deal about it. I can remember on about day 4 or 5 coming home and my other 2 roommates were in there doing the dishes. And I was mad because that meant she wouldn't have to do them and she wouldn't learn her lesson. But I look back at that now and I think, wow, Shalene, why couldn't you have been that one that was just jumping in there to help? Shared that with my children a lot too and hoping that they will learn to act instead of react to situations. So there was one time when I got a ticket. I haven't gotten a lot of tickets in my life for driving, speeding, but I got a ticket for speeding. I think I was 44. I don't know why that number's in my head. And I got a ticket. And when I went home, I knew that I'd heard of people watching a 6-hour video back then and filling out some paperwork that you paid for the video, watch the video, and then you could turn it in to your insurance and you could have your ticket taken off your record and even get a reduction in your insurance. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to do that because I got to get this ticket off my record and might as well get some reduction in insurance. And I paid twice, $25 and $25 to get it for Joe to watch too, because as long as I was watching it for 6 hours, if he watched it too, then we'd really get a reduction on our insurance. So we both sit through 6 hours of video. That was about 75% about don't drink and drive. And we don't drink. So it was boring. It was quite boring. And we listened to this whole thing and it was long and it was 6 hours and it really wasn't a lot of information that we needed because we're pretty much careful drivers. And when it's over, I call my insurance agent and I say, I just want to let you know, Joe and I watched this. And so we are able to get a reduction in our insurance. Now I just need to know how to get you that information. And he said, oh, sorry, we don't do that anymore. So I had to go to Joe and I had to tell him, not only did I pay $25 extra for him to do this and he didn't have to, but he wasted 6 hours watching that with me. And it wasn't even enjoyable. And my husband, who has learned very well the lesson of acting and not reacting, said to me, well, where else can you go and for only $50 get a 6-hour date with your wife? I love sharing that story because that's my husband, Joe, to a T. He just finds the positive in everything. And he can act and say the right thing instead of reacting and being frustrated. Such a good example for me. So the last story I wanted to share with you was when I was 6 months pregnant with number 6. And I was always involved at the schools and trying to help. We were putting up artwork this night for a big gallery night. And it was a lot of work. The teachers had all gotten the children to participate that year. I think there was 500 entries. There was so many entries. And we were using the gym to put all of the pictures up on tables and on walls and having a gallery night that the parents could come and see all of the work. Well, the PE teacher was not very happy at her space being used. She was really not happy that one of the ladies that was helping me had brought her children with her, and one of those children broke the PE teacher's yardstick while we were setting up. Now, I was 6 months pregnant. I was tired. I was happy for the help for this lady to come and help. And people, it was a yardstick. It was a yardstick. So I heard the next day that the PE teacher was lividly upset about this yardstick being broken. And I lost it. Okay, I was hormonal. I just lost it. I just started typing a letter. And by the time I finished, it was 2 pages, single space typing of, I am not going to volunteer anymore, and I do my best, and I try so hard, and that wasn't even a big deal. And oh my goodness, I just let her have it. 2 pages. I printed it out, gave it to my husband Joe to read and give me his opinion of it before I sent it to her. And he very wisely said, well, now you can rip that up and throw it away. And he was right. That was the right thing to do. So I ripped it up and I threw it away, and I went to Walmart and I bought a 76-cent yardstick. And I bought a $2 bow to stick at the top of the yardstick. Didn't say a word to the PE teacher. I handed the yardstick to my child the next day as I dropped him off for school, and they went in and just handed her the yardstick. Do you know that all I heard was, oh, look what Shalene did, look what Shalene did, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. That was my 6th child I was pregnant with, and I ended up having 8 children, and all of my children went to all of their schooling at that elementary school. I would have ruined my standing to volunteer, to participate, to be a part of the life with my children at that school had I reacted by sending that letter. My husband helped me be very wise and act positively instead of reacting. So again, you get to hear some stories. Shalene wishing that she had handled things differently, but learning from those experiences and how to handle them better. So I'll share with you again. Life is 10% about what happens to us, 90% about how we react to it, how we respond. So go have an absolutely joyful day, and thanks for joining me today.